which gave me a blank Zoom screen. So I can't see myself or any of you. And it's too late to try and fix it now. So here we are. I'm communicating with you totally by faith and can't see a thing. But let me know if there's anything. Someone just jump in and tell me if I need to answer something or do something different, because I can't say anything. But I'm honored to be with you today. The topic is contagious passion. And I chose that topic when Onyx asked me to do this because we've had such miraculous results with the X39 patch with my dear British husband. And I just would love to introduce you to him, but he's over there supporting me on the couch listening. But this morning, I'm just going to briefly share our story and the results we've had from X39. And then I'm going to go into some mindsets and strategy for building our businesses. And so those are the two areas today. And it has a little more depth than it sounds like, but it may be a little bit of a different call than what you've been used to in the past. My British husband, Michael O'Brien, played semi-professional football till he was 41, did some serious damage jumping out of airplanes to his C1 through 3. And so we moved from England to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico during COVID. And he was having extreme nerve pain in his neck, unregulated high blood pressure, Parkinson's, and mercury poisoning in his mouth that led to many 9 or 10 teeth being extracted, and then implants were required. But other than that, he was fine. It was just, it was a bit overwhelming, and just knew we needed to get out of England when COVID locked down so tightly there. And so we came to a place of sunshine where there's no bad days, and he could be in the pool, in the water, on the beach, and a place of healing. And so one day we had a visit from our dear friends, Craig and Donna Reiners, came from Houston to visit. And they had these little innocuous patches that looked like round Band-Aids on them. And of course, you know, the question is, are you okay? Why do you have Band-Aids all over yourself? And then they began to tell us about LifeWave and these miraculous, I have to just use the word miraculous because our story is so amazing to me. And that's why I call it contagious passion, because of our story. And so, you know, we were a little resistant. I don't know why people are resistant to new things, but it must be human nature. But they, you know, talked us through the resistance, and we put them on the neck because, you know, down here in Mexico, we tried every kind of muscle relaxer, pain reliever. Nothing worked, and they all had horrible side effects on my precious husband. But when we put the patches on, it instantly relieved the nerve pain, and that got our attention. So we had him on for 3 days, 11 hours on, 12 hours on, 12 hours off for 3 days consecutively. He was sitting in his chair. Now keep in mind, before this, he wasn't able to get out of a chair, the car, or the bed by himself. He had to have help, and he's a large 240-pound man. And so some of our neighbors were walking by the open door, because everyone has their doors open here. And he said, "Hey, where are you going?" And they said, we're going for a walk. And he goes, "I want to go." And I looked at him and I said, "They're power walkers." He said, "Well, that's okay. I want to go." And I'm thinking, you who haven't gotten out of the chair or by yourself. He jumps up out of the chair on his own and takes off with the neighbors with their Fitbits on, and is gone for an hour. Needless to say, I prayed the entire time. He didn't take his phone. I didn't have their phone number. I just thought, let's just hope he lives to tell about this. They come back an hour later. He had walked 5 miles in the sand on the beach, which, you know, is more difficult than walking on a hard surface, for 1 hour. They had their little Fitbits on and told me they'd gone, 5 miles. I was just in shock that someone 68 years old that has been in this bad of shape would have those kind of results in a 3-day period. The other issue were when he had the teeth removed, we wanted to do implants instead of something else. And the dentist is from Germany. He was adamant, your upper gums don't have enough bone density. We would hit the sinus cavities with the implant rods. And so we waited 6 months while he was on the X39, went back 6 months later. And he said, I told you 6 months ago, you did not have enough bone density to do this. And my husband said with full authority, take another picture. So he took another x-ray, and the bone density had grown in the upper gums 3 millimeters, from 6 to 9 millimeters in 6 months. This dentist said, this is unheard of in 40 years of dentistry. I have never seen anything like this. And so he was able to get the upper implants, and it's just been a huge blessing. But if we had not had the x-rays before and the x-rays after, we wouldn't have known that the bone density had increased 3 millimeters in his gums. You can't feel that. And so it's never a good argument for me when people say, well, I didn't feel anything. Well, there's a lot of things going on in our bodies that don't involve pain, and we can't feel everything. So that isn't a good excuse on the patches with me. So after 2 years of using the patches faithfully, he's now 70 years old. And last week we had a wonderful visit with the cardiologist after the hurricane. He had near perfect blood pressure, the best blood pressure he's had in 30 years. His EKG was perfect. His Parkinson's symptoms have greatly reduced, and all the implants are in, and we're off to the nations where we have churches on 4 continents with our global ministry. So we're just, to say we're grateful is an understatement. And that's why I said it's contagious passion, because for us, this was life-changing, and I believe it can be for every person. And my thought was in my mind, how can an innocuous little patch make such a huge change in someone's life? But it regenerates, it restores, it rejuvenates our bodies, and it is miraculous technology, and we're very grateful. So I just wanted to share that how I started in sales was when I was 16 years old. Before we got on the call, some of you were on the Zoom listening to us, and Twigs mentioned about my lipstick. And I said, well, thank you for mentioning my lipstick, because it all started when I was 16 years old working for Estee Lauder behind the counter at the Lord & Taylor store in Houston, Texas. And women would come in to buy a lipstick. And it was just a natural, innate thing I guess I had. And I said, lipstick is so important. It pops, people notice your face. But did you know that your skin is the only skin on your body that will never be covered by clothes? And so all your life, the first thing people are going to see is your face and the skin on your face. Can we talk about skincare for a minute? And so women would come in for a lipstick and leave with $250 of skincare. And that's when I realized the power of suggestive selling. I mean, sometimes people just need an encouragement, just need a suggestion to try something they hadn't thought about. Most women think that their skin is just going to be the way it is, it's in their genes, but au contraire, that's not the case. When I was thinking about contagious passion, I was thinking, if you don't have your own amazing X39 story, I have my own story. It's not quite as dramatic as my husband's, so I always lead with his. But it's important to pair with other testimonies that you can share with people. But personal results are always the best. Our young driver down here in Cabo was playing flag football last week, hurt his shoulder really bad. Michael prayed for him, put an X39 on him, and the next morning he was pain-free. So sometimes it seems like the younger people are, the quicker they have results. But my husband's results were pretty amazing for someone in their late 60s. The theme of the global convention we just came back from Orlando was heart-to-heart connections. And I just wanted to tap into this today. I love this, heart-to-heart connections. And all of the awards that were given out had the heart with the networking on it. And the name of our ministry is Kingdom Connections International, that we've had for 24 years. And I was thinking about how in sales, it's wonderful to be excited and have the rah-rah personality of a cheerleader and get people motivated. But it's hard to maintain that level of motivation unless that's your temperament and you wake up that excited every day. Some people do, but the majority don't. And I was thinking about how important it is for us to be sincere, because sincerity is what connects with people. We want to hear what's going on with people, what they have need of. And sincerity is what has always helped me sell anything in life, because people know that I care and I want what's best for them. People are hurting right now. There's a lot going on in our world. And this is more important than ever to lend a listening ear to people. People are hurting physically, they're hurting emotionally, and we have the privilege of presenting them with something that can help in both areas. And we're obviously not diagnosing or making any claims as to healing, treating, or curing diseases or illnesses, but the experiences that each of us have and the testimonials speak for themselves. And Michael and I, being international ministers, we have a lot of people we sew the patches into that can't afford them: widows and orphans, elderly people, other ministers that we know they can't afford the auto ship every month, but we have the privilege of sewing into them. And one of them is a woman with a daughter who was born blind without eyeballs. And this precious woman has led such a difficult life, and she has been facing 12 years of esophageal cancer. And so we sent her the patches and asked her to just wear them every day for 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And after 3 months, she contacted me from the hospital in Houston, and they had been giving her different forms of chemo. And she said, "They can't find it, Jill. They can't find it." And so we were just all crying on the phone, because I never told her it would heal cancer. I did not make that claim, nor would I ever. But in God's infinite wisdom, he set her free from esophageal cancer within 3 months of wearing the X39 patch. So what does sincerity involve? It involves listening intently to the need of individuals. When we first came to Cabo, we had 42 guests come to see Michael and to stay with us, because we were closer to the States than we were in England. 42 people. I felt like I was running an Airbnb. It was cooking and cleaning for all these wonderful friends. They didn't all come at once, of course, but they came 2 by 2. And it was weeks and weeks and months of having guests, and we loved every minute of it. It was exhausting, but we loved it. And that's how we built the beginning of our LifeWave business, because they saw the patches on us. They saw the results in Michael. They'd been praying for him. And it just organically, they said, "I want what you have." That's just, a wonderful thing when you meet and you talk with people and they say, "I want what you have." And so we just started, and, I became an executive director almost immediately, and we're not too far from presidential, but the whole world needs to detox. The whole world needs to rid themselves of inflammation, young and old alike. We travel to the nations constantly. This isn't just an issue in America, but the need for clean food and clean water is a global concern. And just that we can offer people something that can improve their quality of life. And this isn't just something you wear for a period of time until you get over recovering from a knee replacement or a hip replacement. This is a lifelong, I'm going to wear X39 the rest of my life. This isn't a come and go relationship with LifeWave. This is a lasting relationship. And I just think about how all the people that we meet that live on ibuprofen, and they live on painkillers for pain and inflammation. And just to imagine the damage to the liver and kidneys when our go-to is the over-the-counter medication, or even a prescription medication that's even stronger. And we can offer something that can rejuvenate and take care of those areas and not harm the body, but strengthen the body. I love the fact that you don't have to swallow another supplement. I'm just about supplemented out with all of our supplements, but it's just marvelous that you can just put something on your skin that does the job. I mean, you can tell I'm such a fan. So I just wanted to talk about what sincerity looks like in building our business. When people can feel your heart connecting to their heart, heart-to-heart connections, that level of sincerity opens people up to trust you. And when people trust you, they're more likely to believe you. You might say, well, Jill, this is obvious, and we pretty much all know this about now. But there is a depth of sincerity with following up with people, following through with them, checking on them. We're building relationships through LifeWave. We're building relationships with people one-on-one. We're building relationships with the groups of people we meet when we do patch parties. We care about each person and we want their quality of life to improve. The thing that encourages me about really practicing sincerity is it's sustainable. The rah-rah cheerleader, hyped up is fine, but it's difficult to sustain that level of enthusiasm. Sincerity goes deep, it's sustainable, and it grows. And I'll just be honest, in total transparency today, many of my team have gone to meetings where it was so hyped up that they came back deflated and not encouraged, and our sales dropped. I said, how could you go to this amazing meeting and come back and see our sales go down instead of up? It had the opposite effect on them. And I've noticed even in ministry, when people come in with the glory stories, but never mention the gory stories, people have a need for sincere, real truth, and they connect to that. And X39 may work immediately in your body. It may take longer, but it always works. It doesn't matter how long, it is working and it will always work. And as you are developing relationships with people and they know what it's done in your life and in those that they're listening to on the testimonies, they are more likely to stay with the auto ships and say, I haven't seen anything yet, but I believe. The blessing is in the believing. And when you connect, the person you connect with, when you know who they are and what their heart is, and you have that heart-to-heart connection, and your mind starts to say, I don't know, I don't think this is working, I'm not seeing anything, I don't know that I can afford this month, maybe I don't need to do this auto ship. All those negatives get overridden when the mind of the heart goes back and remembers the relationship and the sincerity of the individual that signed you up, and those that continue to stay with you each week and each month to help you through whatever you're going through. And you think, who else in my life is there for me through this situation, who cares about my recovery, who wants to see my youth renewed and to see me rejuvenated, who isn't jealous when my skin looks better and younger. I mean, those are the people that you want in your life and on your team. That's why I just want to continue to say, really emphasize the heart-to-heart that David Schmidt operates in. His whole motivation is to help people. I love the aid that we're giving through his new inventions and how we're going to be able to get aid to difficult places. We have churches in faraway places that people can't get to. I'm looking forward to speaking with him more about that, when people are starving in remote parts of Africa and need help. And people all over the world need help. Each individual needs to feel the love, the compassion, the sincerity, and that we're offering them a long-term blessing to change their life, and that they can share this with other people and make money that can help. I have to confess, when Donna and Craig presented the business plan to me, I just said, no, I don't do network marketing. And it was the voice of my mother. She was a snob, for crying out loud. And I had to just think, Jill, this would be a blessing to you and Michael right now. You're not out speaking, every time I stand up, it's thousands of dollars. And since you're not out doing that right now, this is a little blessing that came from above. And sure enough, the commissions are so generous every week that I've enjoyed building this business, because the motivation is to help people, but the outcome is also a financial blessing, because it's truly the law of sowing and reaping. When we sow into people out of a heart of compassion with sincerity, we receive a blessing back. So we're opening up a new church in South Korea in the beginning of the year. And our pastors that are in Kazakhstan are all excited and all want to do the patches. We don't offer LifeWave in the Stan nations yet, not in Kazakhstan, but they can do it through Korea. And these are young, athletic people that the minute we came to Kazakhstan and had the patches on and they saw how much better their papa, which they call my husband, was doing, they're like, we want to do this. And it's interesting. I noticed at the convention in Florida how the Asian world is so excited. All ages, young to old alike, are just, they understand the meridians. They understand energy, movement in the body. And they are just on board with the patches. And I just, we tend to have so many naysayers in America because people have so much medical available to them. But there are countries all over the world that don't have medical available. And to put on an affordable patch every day of your life and see your life change is not an argument you have to win. They get it. They get it. And there's so many athletes that totally understand the power of the patch and how much it has helped them in their time and just their body recovering from injuries. And so we're excited that an entire nation, two nations, Kazakhstan and Korea, in January is opening up for our LifeWave business. And we didn't even have to hardly sell it to them, did we, honey? We just mentioned it and they said, we're in. So heart-to-heart connections. It's a life journey and your business will grow. Just want to encourage you to encourage your team. And that's something I have not been able to do as much of as I've wanted to because of Michael's health. But now that he's so much better, just really encouraging our team, our managers, our directors, those that are growing and building the business, and how to build the business, how to encourage the managers to step out and find people like them that just want to make a little extra money, and then it becomes a lot of extra money. And so it's fine for money to be a motivation, but this message today is just to maintain a heart where we're seeing people, their lives changed. So it's 23 after. I cannot see one thing on this screen, which is just such a disadvantage. So I don't know if we have any questions or there's anything else, Lanny.
Jill, excuse me, we have a question on the YouTube side. They would like for you to expound on patch parties, what you do.
Well, there are so many here in Cabo, there's so many women that are here with their husbands who I guess are playing golf and they have a lot of time on their hands. That's not our situation, but a lot of people that live here are retired and have a lot of free time. And so there's a lot of card games that go on in Cabo. It's kind of cute. All these women playing card games, canasta, which I hadn't heard of in 20 years. But anyway, so it was easy to say, would you like to get together and learn more about these patches? Because we can't discuss too much in between canasta hands. And they were open to that, meet at a restaurant and everyone orders what they want and then just begin to share. And people can ask questions freely, or you can do one-on-one, going and meeting people for coffee or having it in your home. It just gives more of a relaxed atmosphere. The videos are fabulous. But there's nothing like the one-on-one touch of being in someone's presence to talk about your testimony and what the patches can do for them. It's just, it's fun. It adds a social aspect to it and it strengthens relationships. So that's what I meant about patch parties. Thank you. That's a good question. The other thing we do on a daily basis is we speak a blessing over our team for them to make connections and to meet people. It really, anywhere you go, when you wear the energy enhancers or 39 and the other patches in obvious places, people see them and ask you about them. I'm at the nail salon. They're like, what is that? What is that patch? Are you okay? Have you cut yourself? No, I haven't cut myself. Let me tell you. And just have your little 2-minute elevator speech ready. And again, the contagious passion, people connect with that because you don't get excited about something that isn't worthy of being passionate about. I can remember back in my days of working for Estee Lauder, and when I graduated from UT with my marketing degree, Estee Lauder said, we want you to come to work. We're going to put you in management because of the way you sold as a teenager preparing to go to college. So I didn't even have to interview for a job because I went to work for Estee Lauder and I loved making people beautiful. I loved helping people improve their skin. But then one day God called me into full-time ministry. And so I went from helping people on the outside to helping people on the inside. But what I love about the patches is it's that same thing. We're seeing people's lives changed and their health restored. And a lot of people are at the end of their rope with their health. We were with Michael. We had been to all the doctors. We had taken all the medicine. We had taken the supplements. We had done everything we knew to do. But this innocuous little Band-Aid made the difference. And now everything else that he still takes and does is working better. And that's what I always encourage people. You don't have to get off your medication. Stay on your medication. We're not doctors. We're not prescribing. We're just saying we have something for you that is going to improve your quality of life. Yeah. That was my husband. Any other questions, thoughts?
Marilyn, go ahead, please.
Okay. I thought what you said was very inspiring. But I have one question, well, actually two. I see that X39 patches are being sold on the internet. Someone pointed that out to me. And then also, I understand that salons, like, hair salons and whatnot, can sell them themselves without, signing someone up, that they just buy some and sell them. Is that correct? I was really confused about that. So if I signed a salon up, can they just buy them and then put them on their shelf and sell them themselves?
I have not heard of that. And Twigs or Lanny, can one of you speak to that? Are you aware of that?
What I have learned, I don't know exactly what's correct or not, but what I understand, if you want to sell this in a business, you need to get approval through the corporation. In other words, if you want to put it on the counter and sell it over the counter, that's what I've been Somebody shared that with me. We need to check with corporation to find out about that for sure, but I think was the deal. If it's like what you're saying, selling it in a salon, over the counter,
Yes, yeah, like in a salon that you can buy, shampoo or whatnot. Can you
Right.
also buy these?
Well, again, that we'll have to find out with corporate. But from my understanding, if they're selling it like that outright, they have to get permission from the corporation. It's not, they're not.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, dear.
My understanding is that if you've signed somebody up and they own a retail store, how they sell that product to their masses, whoever they are, whether they sign those people up as PCs or if they're signing them up as future distributors, that's their business. They are free to do whatever they want on that note because they are signed up with you. One of your, when you said, Marilyn, that they were signed up, that automatically qualifies them to do whatever they want as far as distributing that product. That's on them. Yes, they should probably check with corporate to make sure that they're following all the current guidelines. And now that we're under the FDA's microscope, we need to be even more careful about that. But my understanding is that once you're a distributor, you can distribute as you will. That's on you, and that's between you and corporate.
And my question, and I think what the question I'm hearing is, somebody is not signing people up as brand partners. They're just selling the product as a retail product over the counter. And that was where my comment was coming in, was if you're just selling it as a retail product over the counter, I believe I was told that you have to go, check with corporate.
There are people selling it on eBay, yes. That's a big no-no, I know that. As far as
I'll tell you my story about in England. I had a woman who's a doctor. She's in her 80s, and she gave me the hardest time. She said, well, I went on eBay and I got such a better deal. And I said, well, who has been counseling you about these patches and helping you and answering all your questions? Has eBay been doing that for you? Da, 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 da. And she said, no, Jill. And I said, well, I would appreciate you doing it correctly from the one who has helped you and spent countless hours with you explaining how it will help you and your husband and those that you want to help. Because I know you have a hard time spending money because England has national health, which medicine is free. So it's hard to spend money on something, but you're not making that big of a financial difference. And I would appreciate you not buying it that way. This is our relationship that we have, and I'm going to continue to sow into you, and I would appreciate you buying them through me.
Good for your
as a brand partner. Yeah.
Good for your boldness.
I just did. I mean, she just kept arguing with me, and I was kind but firm. I will not take any negativity off of anybody about LifeWave or X39. I am so tired of hearing people say, well, I can't feel anything. And Onyx's favorite reply is, I don't feel my vitamin C working either.
Or I don't feel my hair growing or nails growing or liver regenerating.
It's ludicrous. And so that's why the heart-to-heart connection is so important, because you're not battling with someone's mind. When you connect with someone heart to heart, the sincerity of the heart is, you have a need and I am here to help meet your need. With me personally, loving and caring for you, and this product that is amazing and it works for everybody.
We've got another question. Dawn had her hand up first. Bob and Bonnie, I see you. We'll be to you next. Dawn, go ahead and unmute, please.
I'm so glad that you gave me that comment, and I'm so glad that the other person brought up the online selling, because I just had a very dear friend that I've been coaching and working with, trying to get her to try the LifeWave patch. And she says, well, I can just buy it from Amazon. Apparently they're on Amazon, which I didn't even know when I signed up. So I thank you for your response, because that's what I'm going to go back too with her. And that's the way I felt. It's like, yeah, you can buy it online, but you're not going to get the personal relationship and the coaching and, getting your questions answered by buying it from those other places. So I just didn't know about why Amazon was able to sell it when we're a direct selling company.
They're not. They're not. That's a big no-no. Amazon, eBay, any other online third-party selling platforms, that is not allowed in compliance. We'll get to them eventually, but right now it's like whack-a-mole, trying to get everybody to stop what they're doing as and when they're doing it. It's very difficult. But
Well, I've had a lot of amazing results like your husband has with X39. So I'm very passionate about it. And I was like really frustrated when she brought that to me because I was like, what? No, that's not the way this works. We're to love on everybody, and the heart to heart was amazing. So I really appreciate it today. You gave me a lot. I have tons of notes. So just thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. It's contagious passion. It's
Bob
contagious.
and Bonnie, you're up next.
Thank you. Great job, Jill. I just wanted to mention, as far as the salon retailing product, I don't see anything wrong with that as long as they're a brand partner themselves and they want to retail it in their
Exactly.
that's fine. And the question I
That's
have
why we have the $149 retail price.
Yeah, for sure. And in any event, Jill, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned your elevator speech. I'd just like you to share what you use for an elevator speech. Thank you.
Just, this got dropped in our lap, the most miraculous patch in the world. How could something so innocuous do so much good in such short periods of time? And then they're like, what? And I just come out with that and they're like, what? And then I just roll out, one testimony. If they still are interested, I roll out the next one. If we have another second or two, I just keep rolling them out. I just have it ready to roll one after another, just like I shared with you today. And I share with people that my immediate thought was like, oh no, but why are we initially negative? What is that? What is that in human nature? But do you know, in Asia, they were not that way. They were immediately in. They saw it, they believed in us, and we want to do this. Yeah. So the passion. And when I start talking about it, my eyes start firing up, these green eyes start firing, and my face, I start smiling and get excited. My voice goes up, and people are like, okay, well, I want what you have.
Marilyn Horton, please go ahead. Marilyn, go ahead and unmute, please.
Okay, I'm unmuted, I think. Is it best to build your left leg or your right leg first, or do you build them at the same time? I'm kind of new at this, and there's so much information, and I just really didn't understand if you're supposed to build one side first and get that built out and then start building the other one.
Well,
What is the correct way to do it, or the preferred way?
Yeah, I'm going to yield to Twigs on that. I want her to answer that question. Is she still with us?
So if I can jump in, typically what we've been coaching everybody to do is build out 20 on each side. Just keep signing up, keep signing up, keep signing up. And then turn around and find your managers.
And I apologize. I was real quickly going through the policies and procedures while you were speaking, so I didn't get your question. I wanted to find out this thing about the retail. So it was clear with some people. So I was scrolling that real fast. So what was the question is, would you repeat that question?
My question was that is it better to build the right leg or the left leg, or do you build them at the same time? Is it more beneficial to get one side kind of built out and then build the other side out, or do them at the same time?
I have been blessed. My mentor Charity has just been phenomenal. She has taught me to build left to right. We obviously we want builders on our left side. We want builders on our right side. And so I have just really listened to my mentor, and she's done a phenomenal job, and she's an SPD, and she's just great. So I'm going to recommend, as she
Yeah,
recommends.
that's if you have a builder up above you. I don't. So I have to build both sides.
Well, what your question is, do you do left and right? Yes, put people on your left and put people on your right.
I don't understand. It works unilaterally?
You're working, you've got two legs, you have a left and you have a right. And you're paid on your both sides with the left and the right. And one week or 2 weeks down the road, one side will be stronger than the other, and then it'll switch to the other. So there's not one strong leg and one weak leg. If you build it correctly, you'll have it even out balancedly. And so that build that strong core. And
That's
that is
right.
what I've done. And so I did what Steve Mary had done. He put you up at the top, and he put 20 people on the left and 20 people on the right.
Right.
And I just make sure he did that in the V, and I penciled it out so I can look at it. I'm a visual person. I can't sit and try to go look at my back office and try to figure out, okay, this. But if I do that V, I could see, okay, I've got my people on my left, I got people on my right, back and forth, back and forth. I don't build just one leg. No.
So I need to intervene for just 1 second.
One on each leg at the same time.
Yeah.
If people will just go to build 331.
They're not talking about patches.
What are they talking about?
People.
I
So-
did go to
They're
Bill.
talking about people. They're
331.
talking about the comp plan.
Everything is on
Left and
build
right on the
331.
She's suggesting sending you to build 331.
So I'll show you. I'll show you in a minute, hon.
Nah.
It's a comp plan. They're
Huh?
talking.
Okay, so we're gonna move on.
Could I ask one more thing or mention one more thing?
Sure.
You mentioned that young people tend to respond faster. And is that possible because younger people already have more stem cells to
I
work
believe
with?
so.
And the
Yeah.
older you get, it takes a while to rebuild
Yes.
those stem cells?
I believe so, and we're not using that word anymore since it's the big FDA no-no, but
Yeah.
yes. Yes, the younger you are, the more you have of those repairing fabulous cells. And then by the time you hit 30, they go to about half. And when we get from 55 to 60, those cells are in the grand poop out. It's the way I say it in a funny way. And so, you can imagine my husband being 68, the need to activate those. But this young buck that drives us around Cabo is 25, all it took was one patch, and the next day he was fabulous. So when you hit 30 is when they start going to half. And then when you get closer to 60 is when they're barely in operation. Hence the reason people start aging around the 60 mark, and you're aging your organs on the inside, and it's showing with the wrinkles on the skin and the gray hair and the ABCD. And so that's why it's important for people to start this young and to start it now. I mean, this is not this is about building our business today. But while we're talking about it, it's just important to understand this isn't just for older people. The younger people start with their skincare, the better their face looks when they hit 60, and the same with your body, starting with these patches. Tim Tebow, David Beckham, all these young athletes are on X39. They know something that everyone else must need to know.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Ann Klapko. Ann, could you please unmute?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we sure can.
Okay, my question would be to the people that are buying the patches off Amazon. Would they still be able to get the 90-day money-back guarantee from someone on Amazon?
No.
So that would also be something I would bring up to those people that are doing that.
Another thing, ladies and gentlemen, what I would consider if you're looking at eBay and stuff like that, why would you take the risk of not knowing what has been done to that patch?
Right.
I know when the patch is sent to me from the corporation, I'm not worried that that patch can be contaminated.
That's
When I
right.
have, if you're buying a patch off of eBay or Amazon, and I do know years ago, quite a few years ago, I was with another company that people were doing that. They were putting their product on Amazon and eBay, and the corporation is always going after them. It's a process for a company to go after these people to stop them from doing that. So instead of getting into that arena, I just say, my life is more important. I know coming from the corporation, my patch, there's nothing been contaminated or done to it.
Excellent.
Real good point, Twigs. Thank you.
Excellent answer.
Next
I have a-
person.
I have a
Jill,
question. How does
Jill-
Amazon or eBay get the product? Do they get it from the corporation?
No.
Or are they putting their brand on? Do they have our brand or LifeWave's brand?
You know, I don't know. This is an area I don't think we need to spend too much more time on today.
Yeah, Sandra, I'm sorry. There's kind of a line right now, so let's stay. I'm sorry. We'll get back to you. Okay, Jasmine Backmeyer, could you please unmute?
Yes, hello. I have a question for Jill. When you mentioned about, the heart-to-heart connection, and that we need to learn to follow up with them, to care for each person and build a relationship, I've identified this as one of my weaknesses. I've been prospecting every day, but my weakness is the follow up. So my first question will be, what is your main advice to deal with a follow up? I have like a massive list. I don't know where to start following up with people. They already tested the patches, or they already got some kind of information, the Static 39, but I cannot move into closing because I'm getting new people on my list every day. So what will be your main advice for that? And the second, would you suggest me to take a break with the prospecting, do all the follow-up first, and then start again?
When you get up each day and you're ready to work on this, I would just check in with yourself and see where you feel the strongest. Are you ready to follow up with people and see where they're at? Or do you want to talk people through that are already signed up and start building your momentum? I would start with people that you enjoy talking to or what you do best, just to get your confidence rolling. And then I would go and take time and contact a few people and say, I haven't heard from you. I know this is amazing technology. It's just a gift that I could even present it to you. Not that many people still know about it. And so I'm just seeing where we are. Are you ready to sign up? This is something you don't want to miss out on. This is going to change your life. And so just be prepared with what you're going to say and how people respond to you. See, the people you connect with and that you've met are different from the ones I do. And you're going to know what works best with people. That's the sincerity of reading people and knowing what they need. And so I would start each day with what you do best. Build your confidence and your momentum, and then go work on a couple of the others. Go back to what you are the strongest and do best, and just go back and forth that way until you begin to work through your list.
Okay.
Does that
Thank
help?
you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Okay, well, I've enjoyed this, but I have not seen one person's face. I am looking at a blank screen that says Zoom on it. I don't know what I hit on my computer, but I just want you to know that I hope this has helped you today. I bless every person on this call. You're all important. And this is a God-given blessing, these X39 patches. And so make the most of sharing it everywhere you can and see the results in your life.
Jill, we have one more gentleman who's waving his hand. He would sure like to.
Let's see, I can't see that. So thank you for telling me. Gentlemen waving your hand. Yes.
His name is Hermie.
Okay. Hermie.
Hi, Miss Jill. Good morning. I just signed up few days ago. I just signed up few days ago,
Okay.
and I heard about this one previously before from my sister, but she did not pursue with this thing. And then one of my supervisor before approached me recently, and I don't know if she's in the meeting, but I said yes to her right away because I know what this is all about. But what I need from you, can you send me a video that I can use to enhance people or to recruit people, not recruit. I should have used that one.
Yes.
Uh,
Go to x39.com.
Can you send it to me because I don't have a computer? I'm just using cell phone. So
Okay.
if you can send it to me and I can send it to him because I just spoke to him this morning and I tell him about this one and I
would
hope I
just
can
write
get
it-
him.
Just write down x39.com and I'm sure he'll have a phone or a computer and he can look it up on the internet himself from there. x39.com.
Okay, thank you.
Bless you. Okay, well, thank you all so much. We're going to wrap up now and look forward to next week.
Okay, thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jill, thank you. I just want to say thank you and thank you for your generosity and
Oh.
just that how you shared that with us, your generosity to give to others and to set that up within this team, that we can't outgive God is what I hear you saying.
That's it.
Right.
That's
We
it.
love you, Jill.
Love you. Thank you so much. And, you know, Onyx, this is the heart of Onyx Cole. She is sincere. She's generous with herself and she's a lover of people. And so this DNA runs throughout this entire tree. And I bless you with it today.
We have one more question. Manny is waving his hand frantically, trying to be heard. Is it okay
Yeah,
if we
'cause I
do one
see
more
him.
question?
Good to know. Yeah.
I know it. I'm here to tell you. Go ahead and unmute, Manny.
Oh no, I was just saying bye-bye, but everybody
Oh.
took so long. But anyway, bye-bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
Manny.
Yeah,
Next
I
time
think
I'll
Fran
see
has
you.
their hand up.
Okay.
Okay, and Fran has her hand up.
Oh,
Fran, go ahead.
hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a new, well, my husband's a new brand manager and I work for him. And I have two questions. Someone is asking me, as they're studying about the glutathione patch, they said that, okay, I believe David has said that it increases our levels up to 300%. And she says, is there a risk to our health to overdose on glutathione? I mean, like, why do we need it to be that high? So could you help me with that?
Well, that's why today we're just talking about the X39, but the patches all require a lot of water because they all detox you. And so we don't encourage a glutathione in the beginning because of that reason. It can over detox you if you have an issue with your liver or kidney. But the 39 will not do that. You can even wear the 39 for shorter periods of time. If someone ever has a reaction, they can wear it for less than 12 hours and build up to the full 12-hour maximum. But drinking water is the key to the patches. All of them detox you, and you must drink a lot of water with them. And that's important for all people to know.
Okay, that's good. And then my second question has to do with, I have a prospective brand manager and she's been in a binary system before with another business. And she said, when I sign up, I want you to put me on your strong leg because I'll make more money there. And I mean, I don't understand. I don't know how to address that. I didn't even know that they could ask to be put on one leg or the other.
Well, then you put her on your leg where you're doing the best, where you have directors and managers that are doing the best each week and each month. And if that's her request, go ahead and put her on your strongest leg.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, Lanny, you've done a beautiful job. Thank you for being my eyes. What was
I do
that?
want to say something on the glutathione. David said that yes, they may give you a reaction. So always make sure you drink water in the reaction. Some of them are going to be on your throat. When I first used that for like in an hour or 2 hours, my throat was actually drying, and the next day I found out what I'm telling you. So yeah, like
The
like
key,
you
the
beautiful
water.
ladies, yeah, like the beautiful lady said, yeah, exactly. Fine. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jill.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend, folks. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I love this Zoom. It was awesome.
Thank you. So kind. Bye-bye.